welcome to episode number 42 of From Ordinary to Extraordinary. And I'm going to wait for all of us to get in here because we are streaming live simultaneously on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So welcome. Thank you so much for being here. This is the time every single week, same time, same place, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard. We get together right here to explore the psychology and the strategies of ultimate performance, mastery, genius, greatness, how to bring your unique gifts to the world and live your ultimate life. If you apply them, you have to apply them, and you know, that's a bitch, but it's true nonetheless. You know, it's not what you know that transforms your life, it's what you do with what you know, and I know you know that is true. All right? Now, a couple of quick housekeeping items. Do we not have our board? Oh, we have our paper today. All right? So, just do me a big favor and do yourself a big favor. In fact, help me help you, help those that you love and care about by just sharing. If you're on Facebook, just hit that share button right down here, as many of you do every single week. If you're on Twitter, you can retweet. If you're on Instagram, you can tag and just share with your community, because we're going to talk about the strategies of Titans today. And in fact, you know, this is episode 42, so if you haven't caught the first 41, you're way behind, and I've got you covered. Just go to jamesray.com/live-cast. jamesray.com/live-cast. We chronicle all of them there. We library them there for your future growth and development and your performance improvement. We've got everything there, from strategies to how to live to be 100. Would you like to be 100 years old? You're like, well, James, I don't know. Well, let me tell you this. If you want to do great work, you have to be around long enough to do great work, right? It takes time, it takes energy, it takes effort. That's called the law of gender, one of the 7 laws of the universe, not the purpose of today, so I'm not going to get into it. But nonetheless, you can go there and watch past episodes. Also, another thing for you is a gift I have going, and I'm really, truly excited about my new upcoming book called Redemption. If you look up the word redemption, it's defined as to gain or regain something by paying the price. You see, there's always a price for the prize. And so my new book, Redemption, the subtitle is The Price of Leadership in Life and Business. Would you like to be a leader in either your life or business or both? Well, my new book is going to be helpful to you. If you know anything about my story, it's going to be chock full of information, a lot of mistakes I've made, and a lot of lessons I've learned, as well as some successes that I've been blessed to have. So if you're on Facebook, there's that link right up here, and here's what we're doing. You can pre-order your signed copy by clicking that link. You can also sign up for the contest that we're running to have a free 2-hour consult with me right here in Hollywood at one of my favorite Italian restaurants, and it's all on me. I'm even going to pay for your airfare to get you here. 2-hour consult to talk about leadership, to talk about life, where I can answer all the questions that you have for your life and business, and it's all on me. So just click the link on Facebook. If you're on Instagram, go to my bio, and on Twitter, I think it's right up here too. So just click that link and click the share button and click the tag and click the retweet. And so before we get into the content, let me just do a quick shout out to those of you who shared last week, because it means a lot to me. This community is growing around the world. It's growing exponentially. We have more and more and more and more people every single week tuning in. And so those who I'm going to share right now are helping me help you help those you love and care about around the world. Heidi Reinman, thank you so much. Reinman. Nori Begay. Wait. Nori Begay? Would that be your mama bear? Is that mama bear that shared? Nori, wow. Thank you for sharing. Francisco Javier Marisi. You know, Francisco, I met someone this week, last week, whose name was Francisco, and he said that the nickname for Francisco is Paco. You tell me down below if that's true or false. You know, I love your name. You know that. So if you want me to call you Paco, I will. But right here, it's Francisco Javier Marisi. L.A. Carter, thank you for sharing. You always do. Tommy Kiner, Keynes, thank you, buddy. I know you share often as well. Prabnav Hanroa. I hope I'm saying that right. Hanroa, thank you. You've shared a lot. I appreciate that. Nancy Winters. I know Nancy Winters. Nicola Jenkins. Nancy is one of the elite members of my Prometheus Academy for Life and Business Acceleration, and she's kicking some major butt. Thank you for sharing, Nancy. Nicola Jenkins, Tracy Egger, Tony Francis Smith. Some of these names I'm seeing repeatedly, and I love that. Sean Morse, the Rogers twins, Anthony and Andrew, thank you guys. Nora Jones from Dubai, thank you, Nora. Vanessa, you got your fingers on it, Bear. Bear, you're writing. What is it?
Robinson. That's
Robinson? That says Robinson? Vanessa Robinson, Raul Mahajan, Mark Osito, thank you, Mark. Manan Mikad, I think that's a new name. Russ Litow, that's not a new name, part of the Canadian Mafia. Thank you for tuning in once again. And Jay Lee comes in for a fourth week, I think. Thank you, Jay, for sharing. Thank all of you for sharing. Let's get into the strategies of Titans. You see, let me start off this way. Last week I gave you the overview of all the 7 strategies we're going to go through over the next several weeks. But the fact is, and this is strategy number 1, and it's the most critical, it's the most foundational, because it's the one upon which everything else is built, and it's the one upon which very few people, in my experience, have any kind of clarity around. Most people that I work with, and I've been really blessed. You know, I've worked with people from 143 countries around the world, over 1 million people, and most people that I have been blessed to work with, frankly, don't have a clue as to what they're here to contribute and accomplish. And these are even really successful people by worldly measures, you know, 6-7-figure income earners. And I can't tell you, I tell you frequently, and I know that you may not believe this, but you'll only believe it when you experience it, I guess, if you won't take it from me. But I talk to 6-7-figure income earners all the time who are frustrated, and they're not happy, they're not fulfilled, and they have no idea what they're here to accomplish. And as a result, when you have no idea what you're here to accomplish, you waste your precious life. You chase dreams that have been given to you, handed to you from an outside source, most probably at a very early age. So, is that you? If it is, let me help you. Get out your notepad and take some great notes here, because the first strategy of Titans is absolutely critical. As I've told you, it's the foundation upon which everything else we're going to explore over the next several weeks is built. And here's the rub. It's very complex. In fact, it's much more complex than this medium that we're interacting on here right now will allow. It's much more complex than the time that we've allotted. That's how important it is. But stick with me, because I think I'll give you some sparks to help ignite a raging bonfire, if you'll stick with me. Strategy number 1 of Titans. You must set goals and intentions that you have the ability to achieve. Two words to define all that: self-awareness. Now, if you've been around me for any amount of time, you're, oh, there he goes again. There goes James on the self-awareness topic. You know, and you're right. And the reason I talk so frequently about it is because so few people really have it. And it's so vitally important to your success, wealth, and fulfillment in life. This finite amount of time that you have on this little blue globe on the planet. Very few people that I meet have it in large doses. Why? Because you're not encouraged to find it. You're not encouraged to find it at a young age. You're encouraged to read, remember, and repeat. You're encouraged to comply. You're encouraged to follow the crowd. Think about it. When the person who gets the A in school is not the radical thinker. It's not the creative, innovative individual. The person who gets the A is the person who complies, the person who does everything perfectly just according to what the teacher says, not the out-of-the-box thinker. I talk to people nearly every single week who tell me what they think they want, but they have no idea whatsoever who they are. Do you know someone like that? Now, frankly, chances are great you are someone like that. Now, just think about this logically. How can you know what you truly want if you don't know who you are? It makes no sense whatsoever as you think about it now. Are you with me? How can you really tell me what you want if you don't know who you are? This lack of self-awareness is the single most heinous cause of what I call the 71% club. See, Gallup tells us that 71%, nearly 3/4 of the population of the planet of people surveyed, tell us they are unhappy and miserable and unfulfilled and uninspired in their work. Nearly 3/4 of the population. The 71% club. It's not a club that you want to be a card-carrying member of, but if you are, I can help you. And there's no value in lying to yourself. If you're in the 71% club, then just embrace it right now, because recognition is the first law of learning and transformation. Here's a few common examples of how you can tell when someone's in the 71% club. All right? Listen to this and find yourself and find your friends and find your family. Here's what they say. Things like, well, I'm going to be a network marketer. You ever heard that one? I'm going to be a professional speaker. I'm going to write a book. I'm going to be an internet entrepreneur, whatever the hell that means. I'm going to sell real estate. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sell real estate. I met an artist once who was going to sell real estate. I was like, are you serious right now? I'm going to be... Private joke, sorry. I'm going to be, for someone in the room. Anyway, I'm going to be a life coach. How many times do you hear that one? And so then you say, why? You ask them why. And they say, well, because I've heard you can make a lot of money. And so-and-so told me they made $1 million as an internet entrepreneur. Or blah, 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 right? Or maybe it's because it's sexy. Maybe it's because I think it's exciting. Or maybe it's because I've romanticized what it means to do that. I can't tell you, I used to be on the road over 250 days a year. I'm not anymore, but I used to be on the road over 250 days a year. And people would come up to me everywhere I spoke, everywhere I presented, and say to me, at least one person, if not 3 or 5 people, I want to do what you do. and I wouldn't say it, but I think inside, you have not got a clue what I do, because all you see is the tip of the iceberg of what I do, and you have no idea what it's like to live out of a suitcase over 250 days a year and keep an extra suitcase packed at home, because when you come home and all your dirty shit has to go to the laundry, you got to have some clean shit to hit the road tomorrow, right? And you have no idea what it takes to run a business while you're on the road over 250 days a year with 32 employees. You have no idea what it takes. blah, blah, blah. But you see this and you, oh, I want to do what you do. Okay, right. It's not that sexy. It's not that romantic. Or maybe we romanticize by thinking, well, why do you want to do that? Why do you want to do some of these things I've mentioned? Well, because I can work from home and then I won't really have to work. Okay. Yeah. Get back to me and let me know how that one works out for you. Okay? Or, well, that's going to make me happy. Wrong. It won't. Let me promise you this. Happiness is an inside game. If you don't have it now, you won't have it then. There's no external circumstances or situations that are going to give you what you don't already have inside. I've even had people tell me straight up, James, I'm going to be famous. Really? For what? A sex video? That's how Kim Kardashian broke out, Is that what you want to be famous? Famous for what? All of these things, is that what you really want? Probably not. None of these things that I've mentioned are purpose-driven. None of them. None of them. They're all just mechanisms to fulfill a purpose, hopefully yours. Get the difference? Writing a book, speaking, being an internet entrepreneur, whatever that is, being a network marketer. None of those things are purpose-driven. They're all just how you go about fulfilling your purpose. You follow me on this? Now stick with me here because this is a game changer when you get it. You see, when there's no true clarity of purpose, then the mind and all its objectives degrade to the lowest common denominator, which is money and fame. Did you get that? Let me repeat it because that's really important. When there's no true clarity of purpose, then the mind, the most marvelous gift you've been given by your Creator, degrades to the lowest common denominator, which is money and fame. Let me just use myself as an example here to make this point. You see, I speak, I train, I coach, I do business consulting, I write books, and you know what? I never, ever set out to do any of those things. Wasn't my objective. Those are just ways in which I fulfill my purpose. They're not my purpose. They're just ways in which I fulfill my purpose. They're just ways in which I do what I'm here to do. Do you get the distinction here? Man, I hope you're listening. I hope you're listening. Because the vast majority of people in this world are chasing tactics. I had a marketer tell me once, James, people want tactics. I can give you tactics, but that's not what you want. What you want is meaning. What you want is purpose. And then once you have that foundation, then you can layer tactics upon that meaning and purpose to fulfill your purpose. You with me here on this? Man, I hope you're listening. You see, the harsh reality is that most people think they want certain things because they've been socially programmed to want those things. Actually, they're not really thinking. They think they're thinking, but they're not really thinking. Most people don't really think. What they do is just they're regurgitating, they're just running a socialized program, just what I call the mechanical mind chatter over and over and over again, and they think it's thinking, but it's not thinking. True thinking is original. True thinking is instantaneous. True thinking comes through you, not rolls around within you. You see, conditioning. Conditioning is one of the primary causes of frustration, failure, and burnout in today's world. Because most individuals I meet are chasing dreams that they've been handed by an outside source. Not what they've really been called to do. Not what they've really been gifted to do. You see, I have a belief and an experience with a lot of people that you have unique gifts. I don't have your gifts. You have your gifts. You have a unique genius potentially waiting within you to be nurtured, to be fed, to flourish into greatness. And you're not ever going to nurture that and feed that and flourish that into greatness when you're attempting to chase tactics. When you're attempting to do things that you're not here to do. You see, I believe there's a plan in this universe for your life, for my life, for your life, for everyone's life. And if you don't fulfill that plan, there's a void. Because only you can do it. If you're really, really honest, and there's no value in lying to yourself, you are the byproduct of other people's habitual way of thinking. You know, when I work one-on-one with people, I'll hear them say something, and invariably I'll ask them, who taught you that, mom or dad? And it's usually one or the other. Who taught you that? School or clergy? Who taught you that? Media? Who taught you that? Because, you see, we're all programmed in our formative years between birth and 13, according to psychological research, and that programming very rarely, if ever, changes after the 13th year of life on this planet. Now, see, we live in a world where the vast majority, there may be exceptions, but the vast majority of personal and spiritual development tell us, quote, you can have whatever you want. And I'm here to tell you, you can't. Sorry. And if you want someone who can tell you can have whatever you want, you probably should tune into another live cast right now. You know, you should listen to someone else, because I'm here to tell you, help you find who you are so you can get what you really want. Because what you think you want is not what you really want. The truth is a hard sell, and the reality pill goes down hard. You know, I think I may have shared with you, someone said to me on social media last week before, James, marketing the truth is a hard market. I'm like, yeah, you're right, it is. And yet, what I ground myself in is that first and foremost, I have to be honest and truthful based on my experience. Take it or leave it. And what I also find is that when everybody has quit chasing rainbows and unicorns, they come here and find out what really works. What really works. I promise you, there's nothing more miserable than attempting to do something you're not here to do. There's nothing more miserable. I don't care how much money you make. When you don't have the ability and the gifts and the heart and the compelling purpose for what you're up to, it's miserable. It's 71% club, baby. It's 71% club. And you may think when you get that $1 million or that $100,000 or that $2 million, whatever the number is, you may think that it's all going to change. It's not going to change. You may watch some people on social media who are talking about how much money they have. And you can, if you're really, really wise, you can discern the disenchantment. You can discern the lack of fulfillment, because they keep buying more and more and more and more and more shit because they have a void inside of themselves. Well, one house isn't enough, so let me buy 2, and let me buy 3, and let me buy 4, and now I got to have 4 cars, and now I got to have a plane, and now I got to have, 17 pairs of shoes. Sorry, ladies. It won't fill the void. My commitment, and by the way, I've been there. At one point in time, I had 7 properties. 7. And I could justify in my mind, well, they're investments and I get this and this and this. But let me tell you something, that's a lot of stress. A lot of stress. And so, anyway, my commitment is to help you get what you need to do on this planet. Help you get what you need to have, to know what you need to do on this planet, because that then and only then is when you really know what you want. You with me on that? Do you follow that? If I can help you in some way, small or large, to get what you need to find why you are here, then you will really get what you want. And you have to know who you are before you can decide what you want. Now remember, we're talking about strategy of titans here. And this is based upon research. Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. If you missed last week's edition, go back and review. With over 150,000 people in over 150 countries around the world. Number 1, let me repeat it. Set a goal and intention that you have the gifts and ability to achieve. That's what we're talking about here. Something that's aligned with your unique purpose, your own self-awareness about who you are and why you're here. When you go after something that's not really in alignment with who you are and why you're here, it's incredibly painful. It's incredibly painful. Look, let's just be frank here. I am never, ever going to be able to fly like Michael Jordan. I could say all day long, I want to be like Mike. Remember that one? I want to be like Mike. And I ain't going to be like Mike. I could work my tail feathers off, and I'm never going to be like Michael Jordan, because Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan, and Michael Jordan has those gifts. And yeah, he worked his tail feathers off, but he worked his tail feathers off doing what he was here to do. No matter how much I say I want to paint like Michelangelo, I am never going to paint like Michelangelo. I had, when I was really, really young, I used to do art, and I had a little piece of art hung in a museum once. I really did. I won a contest in grade school, and they hung it in a museum. And boy, I'm going to be Michelangelo. Well, no, you're not. Okay? And I had to let that go. So look, I didn't get to where I'm talking to you here today by not making a lot of screw-ups and a lot of errors. I made a lot of mistakes, and my mistakes were my greatest teacher. And so let me help cut the learning curve in half for you. Even 10,000 hours of practice, which Anders Ericsson, the psychologist who is the man around what it takes to develop mastery. We talked about him in the last episode. If you missed it, even 10,000 hours of practice is not going to make me Mozart. It's just not. And I thought at one point I wanted to be a musician. I'll tell you about that in a second. And I practiced, right? But I was never going to be Mozart. Look, Jordan, Michelangelo, Mozart, Jobs, Gates, Branson, Da Vinci, and all other titans realized, first and foremost, their own genius, their own gifts and genius. They set intentions to become masterful with their own unique gifts. Choose to become great. Choose to become great. Find your own inner titan and then nurture it to a level of mastery. Michael Jordan was never going to discover the law of relativity. I'm sorry, right? Einstein was never going to be Yo-Yo Ma. Just not. You see, when I was younger, I thought I wanted to be a rock musician. I was even in a little band, right? But I wasn't meant to be a musician. And then I thought that I wanted to be an actor, right? And I even went to some acting classes in college, and I dabbled around. But then I started to wake up little by little and realize none of those things was what I wanted. See, purpose in life was nudging me. nudging me in the right direction. And I was interpreting through my own programming, through my own filters and social programming, what I thought that meant. And I had to make a lot of mistakes and go in a lot of different directions to finally realize when I stood in front of a room and I was training at AT&T School of Business for the first time, I was like, oh, wow. No, this is the stage I'm meant to be on. Not the musician stage, not the actor stage, this stage. And life was giving me little nudges all along the way. Does that make sense to you? I had to become more self-aware. And here's the big challenge of self-awareness. And this is I told you this was complex. And I know we're going a little long here today, but if you can just hang with me, it's worth it, I promise you. And I've proven this in my own life as well as the countless individuals I've worked with. Here's 3 challenges of self-awareness that I'm going to tell you right up front. Number 1, after years of socialized programming, many, if not most, have a problem with original thinking. In fact, I would submit most all of us do. After years and years of socialized programming, we think, but we don't really think. We've already talked about this. What we think is thought is nothing more than running an old program that's been programmed into us since the time we were born. And that's the machine mind, right? We have a real problem with original thinking. Number 2, if it is original thinking and we finally find it, which very few of us do, but some do, then here comes the second challenge with self-awareness. Letting go of pipe dream goals and intentions. Letting go. You see, I had to let go of being a rock musician. I'm never going to be Bono. Not in this lifetime. I'm not going to be Sting. You know, maybe next lifetime I'll come back as Sting. That would be really cool. But not in this lifetime. I'm not going to be Sting. Sting is Sting. You know, I had to let go of that. I had to let go of being an actor. You know, I'm never going to be Christian Bale. Not in this lifetime. Brilliant actor, in my opinion. Not going to be Christian Bale. You know, you got to let that go. Christian Bale's Christian Bale. But it's painfully difficult for a lot of us because we say, well, James, I got so much time and energy and effort and money invested in this now. I've told people I'm going to do this. Let me tell you what real strength is, and I've done it many times in my career, is coming out and saying, you know what, I was wrong. I was wrong. You know? Because only when you can be brutally honest with yourself can you move yourself in a direction of true integrity and honesty. You see, having no ability to achieve certain intentions and dreams and goals that we've been programmed to think are sexy and exciting, which they won't be, because let's pull together and remember what we've discussed here. Nothing is more miserable than trying to do something you're not here to do. Having no ability to achieve them, you let go of them so that you can embrace what you are here to do. Stop wasting your time on things that you'll never become great at. And if you don't have the opportunity to become great at it, then just let it go. Let it go and go after what you can become great at. And go after what you are here to do, because that's what brings a fulfilling life. And you have the ability to become great. The seed of greatness within you. And here's the thing you have to realize. However long you think it's going to take at least 2 times as long, and it's going to cost at least twice as much. Right? It never happens fast enough. You see, but you won't give up. Because when you find your unique gifts and genius and purpose, you just don't give up. You don't give up. You can't. You can't. I saw an interview with Elon Musk, and he's had some real challenges. He's put it all on the line. He said, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up. I don't care how hard it is. Third challenge with true self-awareness is that limiting beliefs hold you back from your greatness. As a result, many people pick lackluster goals and intentions, things that they think they can achieve versus things that are really going to compel them to greatness. Now, I tell you, this is a complex topic, and I apologize because I'm already pushing up against time here. It's very complex, and this is why you need assistance and coaching. You really do, because, you know, it may sound like I'm contradicting myself. When I'm telling you to find your unique gifts and genius, I'm not telling you it's going to be easy. I'm not telling you to pick easy street. I'm not telling you to pick lackluster goals, because the human spirit will not invest itself in mediocrity. You got to have something that's going to push you, that's going to pull you, that's going to make it tough for you, it's going to scare the shit out of you. And yet it's got to be in that arena where you're meant to play. You know, get some real honest feedback from people who love you enough to tell you the truth. Oh, you were great in that live cast. No, you weren't really great. You shouldn't be doing it. You should be writing, because I've seen you write, and you write pretty well, so maybe you should write. Oh, you know, that piece you wrote was just great. No, it really sucks. You probably shouldn't be writing. You should be, you know, training animals, because I see you're a horse whisperer, if there ever was one. You see, find someone who cares enough to give you honest feedback, and then go all in. So you get those three challenges of self-awareness that you're butting up against right now. After years of socialized programming, it's hard to have original thought. If you do find original thought, then you have to let go. It means changing your entire life in many ways. It changes your entire platform. It changes what you've told people you're going to do. Who gives a shit? It's not their life, it's your life, right? And then number 3 is that you have limiting beliefs around, oh, well, if I let that go, I'm not going to, you know, this might be my gift and genius, James, but man, you know, I'm already in my mid-40s or 50s, and how am I going to do anything with it now? You can, because the universe backs you up when you're on point and purpose. You'll see. We all need guidance in these areas because it's difficult. And it's probably impossible. You can't distance yourself enough from your own bullshit to be able to see it. Right? Because you're just immersed in it. You can't see what you're looking with and through. You follow that? You can't see what you're looking with and through. You've got to have someone who cares enough from an outside third-party perspective to really give you insight into your own nonsense. And if I can be of service, that's the work that I do. Let me know, because my team and I have many, many options. And only honest answers will set you in the right direction. Self-awareness. Let me give you 4 questions, and we'll wrap it up for today. 4 questions you can answer around self-awareness. Number 1, what am I naturally attracted to? Now, this, again, answers are not that easy, because you have to really be honest with yourself. I'm not attracted to it. Maybe I'm attracted to it because I've been told I'm supposed to be attracted to it. Remember last week we talked about a BMW versus a Bentley? You know, what am I naturally attracted to? And go all the way back to your childhood. What have you always been naturally attracted to? Number 2, if money were no issue for you, if money were no issue for me, what would I spend, what productive activity would I spend my entire days doing? Now, productive activity is key because, you know, again, you've been conditioned that you want to go to Margaritaville. You've been conditioned that you want to work really hard so you have plenty of time to kick back on the sandy shores. And you don't. You don't. Csikszentmihalyi's research proves this is true. You do not want to sit back and do nothing because you become bored out of your bejesus. And we're really fired up and we're really inspired when we're pushing big challenges, when we're doing great things, when we're not really sure if we're able to do them. That's when we're inspired. That's when we're alive. No one is more alive than he or she who feels like their entire life is on the line, that they're all in, that they're going for it. So question number 2 again, if money were no issue, what productive activity would I spend my entire days doing? Question number 3 is based upon the honest answer to question number 2. Given the answer that I just gave, and given that my physical life is finite, tick-tock, what would I do today if I knew I only had 1 year to accomplish that thing that I just defined in question 2? If I only had 1 year to get it done, what would I be doing today? That's a tough question, isn't it? Hopefully that one makes you rattle your boots a bit, chatter your teeth, right? What would I do today? Oh my God, you don't want me to really do that, do you? Of course not. No, don't do that today. Whatever you do, waste your life, Leave life with a bunch of regret. And then question number 4, what must I do right now? Did you get them? Did you get them? Let me repeat them real quick and we'll get out of here. Number 1, what am I naturally attracted to? And I've always been naturally attracted to. And I'm going to encourage you to dig deep, because the answer is not I'm attracted to speaking. No. For what purpose are you attracted to speaking? The answer is not I'm attracted to write things. No, that's not the answer. For what purpose? How does it make you feel? Why are you attracted to that? I'm attracted to football. Okay, no, that's not the right answer. Why were you attracted to sports? What does that give you? What is important about that to you? Number 2, if money were no issue, what productive activity would I spend my entire days doing? Number 3, given that answer to number 2, and since my physical life is finite, tick-tock, what would I do today if I only had 1 year left? And number 4, what must I do right now? And by the way, let me go back to question number 3, because so many people on question number 3 go, oh, well, I'd take the rest I'd never work and I'd spend time with my family. Bullshit. No, you wouldn't, okay? No, you wouldn't. You might include your family, but we're all hardwired, whether you're consciously aware of it or not, to contribute. You are more here for more reason than just to spend time with your loved ones. Okay, I'm not saying that's not important. Please get the message here. You've got more to do here. God has a purpose for your life. And you've got more to do here than just spend time with your loved ones and take vacations with your loved ones because I only have 1 year left. No, you got 1 year left to make a contribution, to leave a legacy, to do something significant, to do your purpose, live your purpose that only you have. And if you don't do it, it won't get done. Damn. I hope I'm giving you some things to think about. And let me tell you, we're going to be dark next Thursday. I'm sorry. I'm going to be on a plane during this live cast, and because it is live, I'm not going to be able to do it. I apologize. What I'm going to encourage you to do is go back during this time, set this time aside, and go back and revisit the first 2 episodes, last week's and today's, because repetition is the second law of learning. Okay? Click the link above if you're on Twitter or Facebook, and grab a copy, signed copy, advanced copy rather, of my new book, Redemption. If you're on Instagram, go to my bio. And until we speak again, as always, lots of love to you. Stay awake, love life, and be epic.